श्रीलंकन्स का अभी तक पोस्ट नहीं आया भाई, अभी भी मैच हो रहा है क्या?
Oh, they won. They'll post it soon. Frost. Yeah, let me know when it's live. Yeah, the link is same. What is it? It's not going live yet. Oh, it's starting now. Yeah, the stream link changed. You're right. Alright, we start then.
Bhishi free? बात करनी.
I'm streaming right now.
Okay. Frost, you both are right?
क्या हुआ बोलो ना, एक सेकंड. Hit the good get go.
Yeah. Alright, we are live. Lovely. Alright guys, welcome back to the LoL India Community Cup Semi-Pro. We're back again with another game that we will be streaming. This time we have Team SND on the blue side facing Team 14K Ice on the red side. As always, I have Frost with me. Hey Frost, what's up? How you doing?
Hey Bhishi, I'm going really fine and yeah, we're in for a good game, I feel.
Yeah, I mean both the teams seem to be quite interesting, and let's just see what kind of drafts these teams kind of come up with. Should be pretty fun to see. Right now we do seeing junglers being banned across both the sides. It's pretty interesting.
Not only junglers, very unconventional junglers, I must say. Rengar and Warwick, not really, the crop of the top junglers, but yeah, it's pretty fun. I think these are more of, target bans rather than, because both the teams are from Bangladesh and they know each other pretty well and must have played against each other before as well. So I think they have good info on each other.
Yeah. I'm liking the jungle focus coming out from SND, definitely.
Mike.
Bad experiences out with them right now. So, in any case, LB is banned as well. Should be fun. The tournament has so far been quite interesting, and we have seen one or two teams that have played really well in the tournament so far. And I think once the game gets to the quarterfinal stage, we will end up seeing a lot more people getting into that area as well. So.
Fizz ban, all the assassins getting banned out, junglers getting banned out. Pretty fun to see. Not one ban has been conventional, if I may say so. So let's see, everything is open and anybody can pick anything they want. Singed. Okay.
Oh, that's a blind pick.
Yes, that is one interesting pick right there.
It's gonna be fun though. Like if we're gonna see a Singed top, pretty fun to see
Mike.
As well, and then hopefully it'll be nice. I
think one of the more conventional picks. Taric, always a safe option. Taric and Zaya, very safe option, and with that additional engage and disengage in team fights as well, the Taric card can be game changing. So it's a pretty good pickup, I hear. So I don't know how good Taric is right now in the meta, but yeah, let's see how it works out.
Definitely, I also like the ban coming out, the picks coming out at the other side. That the Brom has been picked as well, so kind of like good supports and side of disengage coming out from both the sides.
Grom getting picked up, of course, very strong right now in the meta. Lots of engage, lots of damage, along with any ADC which is picked with him. Solid pickup. And another Jax getting taken. I think it's for the jungle here. So yeah, lots of CC coming out already from the first 3 picks of SND. 14k responding with a legitimate Skarner pickup. Pretty fun to see. It's a really meta jungler right now. Really good against most of the comps.
Yep. The Twitch ban coming out right there, so definitely again on this side of SND. I'm guessing these team a lot more targeted for something. Like you said before, they must have played together and they are banning out the champs that they don't want to like face against. And Twitch obviously would be a good hyperscaling AD that they did not want to play on their side.
Again, the response to the Yasuo, all of these bans, it's like 100% targeted at this point, because none of these make any sense. So yeah, it's just knowing each other's strengths, and of course they are focusing the ADC pool.
Yep, let's see what the next pick is going to be right now. Let the last coming out. I'll just be back in a sec, Frost.
Yeah. Varus and Twitch getting banned out. Here we are responding with the Ribbon ban. Of course, lots of assassins getting banned out. They do not want the additional assassin pressure on their ADCs. And yeah, we'll see how 14k responds with. Cho'Gath being hovered by 14k. Solid pickup for top. It's a very good hyperscaling tank with tons and tons of objective secure damage and true damage to apply.
Yeah,
it's a solid pickup.
Definitely, I like the well-rounded comp coming out right there from the 14k Ice team. Like they have a Skarner for big potential. They have a Cho'Gath who would be good for objectives as well. So so far so good. The only thing left to round up that comp would be probably a good AP scaling mid laner. Let's just see what that gets picked up. Meanwhile, on SND side, you do see the Misfortune pickup right there, and I don't know what the mid laner is going to be. So let's just see what that will be. It's going to be a Vladimir. All right. What do you think of the composition on the blue side, Frost?
Oh, it's pretty solid. I think there's lots of setup for the Misfortune ult, lots of AoE. It's going to be fun to watch this. Singe always, it's always a good added factor to see how it affects the game, and it's going to be a pretty fun game for SND side.
Definitely, and you do see the Zoe pickup on the side of 14k Ice right there, so that's actually a pretty good pick potential as well. But Zoe into Vladimir, Frost, what do you think of that matchup in the mid lane specifically?
I think the Zoe, if she's good, she can outright kill the Vladimir. But yeah, it is going to require a lot of training on her part. Like if you have to be really good at Zoe in order to kill a Vladimir outright, yeah. And also more often than not, it should be a farm fest unless they get affected by the junglers. So I think both sides the comps are pretty solid. Lots of team fighting going around there, and yeah, it's going to be a very fun game to watch.
Definitely, and I do think that on the blue side, Team SND might have to pick up one of these QSSs, because the moment Skarner ultis someone, I have a feeling that it's gonna die instantly. So that's something we'll have to see coming out right there from SND side. But the Singed, like how the Singed is a top lane, because against a Cho'Gath, I think it's pretty much a farm lane for him. He's happy even proxying, because I think a Cho'Gath can do to stop him at this point. So I'm looking forward to see how Isalty plays that top lane out, and I want to see how Cho'Gath plays and deals with that as well. In terms of like composition, I guess like you said, both the comps do seem pretty fine right now. But I think it's just a matter of which team is able to get the snowball better. But if you had to pick one comp in the late game, Frost, which comp do you think has better tools to work with in the late game?
I think the Taric is going to be the determining factor for me because the ulti it can just completely negate the Vlad damage as well as the misfortune damage. So if the Taric plays well, I would give it to the purple side. But I think if it does not work out that way, I mean if the Taric fails his ult or he gets caught out and gets picked off, then I think the blue side has more of a pick composition with the Braum passive and the Singe like with the Singe flip and everything. So I would give it to blue side in case the Taric fails his ultimate.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the best things that we have about both the comps and both the teams. We do not know much about them, and this is like an avenue for both the teams to finally like showcase some of their talents in semi-pro crop, and that's the kind of thing that we want to foster with our tournaments as well. So hopefully, we might see some good plays coming out from both SND as well as 14K Mash. I'm looking forward to this matchup, and hopefully in the coming weeks we will have more streams for you guys so that you guys can watch the game from easily just without having to log into the client. And yeah, it's something we look forward to as well.
We are waiting to load up into the game. So I think, what do you think, Bhishi? Is there going to be any level 1 action from either of the teams?
Well, I think with Braum and maybe with the Jax, generally he starts level 1. So like you can see an invade come out from Team SND, but then again you do have the Taric who can disengage somewhat. But if I was the blue team right now, I'd probably go look for an invade just because Braum, just because Braum and level 1 invades just go hand in hand in my opinion, and they should look to do so because if they can get one kill on any of the AD or even like the mid laner, that just actually can help them ease into lane really well. And now Vladimir wants to scale, right? Vladimir is happy scaling into that composition. I don't think, if the Vladimir gets ahead, it's going to be so difficult for 14K to do anything right now. So they're probably going to look to see if they can expend resources onto the Vladimir and see if the level 1 invade works out. Why not?
I think anyways, because SND later on they are going to be playing the 1-3-1. It's going to be their prevalent strategy because it's not exactly a full-blown team fight composition from them. They are a team which thrives in the split push. So they have a Jax, they have a Vlad, they have a Singe. All of these champions, very good split pushers in their own right, very good duelists in their own right. So in an interesting contrast, 14K wants to team fight as much as possible. They have lots of AoE, they have a Taric, they have, like a Skarner engage along with. So yeah, it's going to be pretty fun to see how, these contrasting comps come into play inside the game.
Frost, what do you think of the lane dominance in the bot lane specifically? We have Misfortune and Braum on one side, and we have Zaya and Taric. In terms of levels 1 to 6, what lane do you think has more of an advantage coming
I think
out?
Definitely it has to be given to, Braum and Misfortune. That's a lot of damage which comes out from that particular lane. If you tag one, like if you get tagged by the Braum passive on any of the targets, there is a lot of damage which can come out. The Taric has to play it properly because, any time and every time somebody is tagged, he has to go for the stun on Misfortune, because that way they will be able to negate the damage as much as possible. Later on, once Taric gets 3 points in his heal onwards, he will be able to slowly scale it back up. He has gone for the Guardian as well, so which is going to help him inside the matchup. Otherwise, outright Misfortune and Braum just hurt a lot.
Yeah. You do see that SND is getting the skin game on quite strong. There's 4 skins on their side, and there's just 2 skins on the side of 14K. So, if skins wins games, then probably like SND have won the game already. Having said that, let's just wait for the loading scene to start.
What do you think about the phase rush on Singed? How do you think that's going to play out for as far as his lane is concerned?
It just gives him additional movement speed to become more annoying. Like if the Singe just wants to like be as annoying as he can, and giving phase rush, it's pretty easy to proc with him as well. If he can get that auto and his poison damage going, he can actually like come in and out of team fights, and people will have a very difficult time catching him. Like even if the Skarner ulties him at this point, like they have to focus so much CC on this guy because he gets deceptively tanky the more item he builds. And on the other hand, though, I'm actually liking the Cho'Gath pick quite a bit. I'm not sure why Aftershock was being run on Cho'Gath. Generally, he does much better off with Grasp of the Undying. He can only use Aftershock when he like lands, I think maybe his W or Q, but it's just not something that's optimal in lane, at least in my opinion. And Singes is gonna be like probably trying to proxy him from level 3 or 4 onwards. So I like the phase rush pickup. I think it just gives him more escapability in team fights, and that should be a pretty cool thing coming out, because the way I see SNDs playing this compound is just like Singe will be that annoying person who's gonna flip one person off, and then is gonna get caught out by the Braum or something like that.
Mind you, if they get caught in a code with the Misfortune ult on top, it is going to be a disaster for 14.
Yeah, just to add to that, I'm trying to figure out how and what opportunities will the MF have to ult, because usually like you wait for some form of CC or some form of catch. The only CC that I can think that they can like use before the MF ult is probably the Bromalt right there, and that's like the only combo I see happening. Like usually with MF, you
And
see some hard CC,
one
right?
of the strategies which she can employ is that she can wait for the fight to break out, go back into, slip inside the bush so that they don't have vision when she ults, and just let it loose once the fight has broken out. Because once the fight breaks out, you're not really accounting for the misfortune ult on top of it. So I think that way it might be effective, but we never know how it's going to play out, to be honest.
Yeah. It looks like SND is just chilling at this point. They didn't want to look for the invade. In fact, they have a very strong defensive 4-man right behind Dragon. And it doesn't look like, and as always, 14K Pirate just wants to chill themselves. I mean, they have no interest in invading. So it's just going to be standard starts, no early game shenanigans from either team. And the interesting thing, however, is that Skarner has opted to start on the red side of the map. He will take his red buff and probably path down towards the blue and then to the bot lane. Or maybe, you never know. Nowadays, you're seeing people gank other lanes as well. So it just could be.
I mean, I think it's smart from Skarner because, he needs that added security and pressure for his bottom lane. They are going to be getting pushed in. So there might be an opportunity to gank there. I like his pathing here because I think it's much safer, and in order to, he's trying to safeguard his bot lane up. Meanwhile, it's pretty what's up?
Skarner doesn't need to use a lot of mana in the jungle, right? He doesn't need makes sense.
He does get that additional attack speed from his shrines also, so which helps him with the clears. So it's going to be really good for him. Of course, we have to see how it eventually plays out.
Yeah, meanwhile, you do see that Cho'Gath is just trying to farm up, and Singe is not taken one CS that he's gotten so far, which is slightly worrisome in the first path. But maybe he'll just grab some because the lane is pushing towards him. On the bot side, you do see level 2 has been reached by the Xayah and the Taric combo, and they have just basically gotten to push out the lane. Do you think that should happen first?
I mean, that is to be expected, right? Because SND's bot lane went to leash, and 14K did not have to. So, of course, they managed to get to lane first, and, they went and got level 2 first. I think nothing they can do with the level 2, though, because Taric Xayah isn't something, which you go and actively fight with at level 2. So, there's nothing to be gained from it. So, it's good to have it because they'll have an extra spell for their defense. But, that was to be expected because they did leash whatsoever.
I mean, Cho'Gath did something really smart. He pushed out the wave and he warded the blue side of the map. Jax as well. So actually that's pretty well played out by Pirate right there to basically identify. And with games, right, when you know where the jungler is, it becomes so easy for people to play offensively as well. And that's where you see, right, red team is just happy trying to push out right now. They know the Jax on the tops of the map, and the bot lane is just happy trying to farm out and push, and they're not afraid. Meanwhile, Skarner also tries to invade on the Grom side of Jax and gets a ward there. So now they have full vision of the Jax trying to clear his Grom part, but as long as they know where they are, I think it's better that they do not get ganked on right now. Stun lands onto MF, but then the Guardian just damage mitigation right there.
Taric Xayah are not going to just outright kill this lane. It's very, very hard with the bronze shield, everything going on. So yeah, we just see how much damage the MF can put out. Right there, she should have gone for the passive proc there. She could have gone. She would have dealt a lot of damage, but she decides to back off, I think.
Yeah. It just looks like a simple passive laning phase at this time. I think both teams are happy just farming up, and CS on each side seems to be quite even at this point. Even the Singe has caught up on his early lane disparity, but both of them.
I must commend 14K on their wards. They are trying to ward up as much as possible using their trinkets to get so that the Jax isn't able to get any surprise ganks off early anywhere. It's pretty good from their side.
Definitely, the whole river side is watered on this side, and you do see the Cho'Gath getting flipped on by the Singe, and now he's trying to trade with them, but then Cho'Gath, he hurts a lot, and Cho'Gath has sustain on his side. Even if you do that kind of a trade, like Cho'Gath can just get minions and gets 12 health per minion and 6 mana at early level, so that's pretty strong on him as well. But just random trades coming out, nothing specific. Both junglers are also happy farming. I think Skarner will be happy farming because once he gets level 6, that's when his ganks become the most potent. So I think Jax also is just looking out to farm and get 6 as soon as he can.
Yeah, but the Skarner has an incentive to farm, till 6, but I don't think Jax has the same incentive. I think he should be looking to pressure at least one lane.
Frost, we do see a gank coming on the top side of the map. Skarner is right there with the Singe. The Singe is trying to get there. The stun does land onto that. The Q as well lands, but I think Singe is going to be safe. A lot of damage coming out there. Are they going to die? This guy, the Singe just loses his ghost, but the flash E auto coming out from Cho'Gath nets a Merkle, and that's going to be first blood coming out there for 40k. So it's really well played by them.
Really nice gank. Skarner being able to get off a pre-6 gank. It's pretty good. It's going to be really good for him, and he does, respond properly. Helps push out the wave so the Cho'Gath can back and come back on the wave reset without wasting his teleport. So pretty good gank all around from 14k, that's it.
Definitely, and I think Sinch just used his ghost too late. I think he thought that he'll get away with it and was being very defensive on the usage of his summoner spell. But that summoner spell, like greediness, cost him a kill, and Cho'Gath gets like a 1 kill lead with like over 10 CS and obviously a lot of EXP as well. So I think that's pretty good start coming out there from 14k eyes. They are a team that this corner wanted to scale to 6, but he got a gang before that as well.
And this is going to be put him really ahead because, he gets that early kill, he gets that Predator boot. So, whenever that gank does happen, he's going to be very fast when he comes towards someone.
Yeah, choosing Catalyst start coming out right there for Cho'Gath as well. So he's just going to have a lot more health and basically be able to push out the wave as well, and that's actually pretty nice coming. So let's just see how the recovery happens.
Would you agree that Cho'Gath still need Rod of Ages though as their starting items?
I would probably go Righteous Glory at this point. Like, I think it's more important in team fights to be able to chase someone down and kill them, but I mean, I'm guessing they want more AP on this side, and I mean, I wouldn't agree with that item pickup, to be honest. I just feel utility is a lot better on your tank at this point, but I'm sure like he's probably looking to do a lot of damage, and maybe that if he builds a ROA right now, he can just do a lot more damage with his AP as well. I would agree though. Righteous Glory would be the way to go for me.
I mean, standard laning fields. Otherwise, everybody is just looking to farm up. Skarner, very happy to farm up. I think just went for a eat wait, but he thought that okay, the blue buff is it up, so he came back. Pretty standard farming going on both the lanes. Skarner is pretty happy with it. He's 6 now, so he'll be looking for another repeat gank somewhere soon. Let's see where he goes with it.
So stun lands onto them, but nothing much happening. And yeah, like at 7 minutes to get level 6, that's actually pretty fast coming out from Skarner. Right? The kill and the EXP does help him get to that point pretty fast. And you do see some basic traits coming out right there. The Q does get dodged out by Authority, so that's good on him. But he is quite behind in CS at this point, over 20 CS. And this wave is pushing towards the Cho'Gath. It's going to get more CS out of that. Meanwhile, the gang just coming out of mid lane, and Flash is getting used, but the stun lands by the Jax, and 14k just escapes and comes back, and that's just going to be dead. A good gank coming out from Vanta Black right there, and like a well played bot lane mid jungle synergy coming out that gets them a kill as well.
And this is the pressure I was talking about. This gank had to be, I think a bit earlier, because Jax needs that those early ganks, put himself on the map, to get that pressure in. Pretty good that he gets one off. He is going to get some much needed gold. He did get the kill as well, so I think he's going to be a pretty happy customer.
Yeah, and I actually think there were no wards coming out from the Zoe. He was just acting as if there is no Jax. And I think he was trying to just trade 2 ahead. And I think like Vladimir saw the opportunity at the right time, and he did have Ignite too, and they were able to use it to good effect. So Vladimir gets a little rolling as well. And I think both the sides are like pretty even at this point. There is a 700 gold coming out right there from 14k. That's mostly because of the CS disparity in the top lane. But otherwise, all other lanes seem to be going quite even for them.
I mean, the Singh was first pick, mind you, so I don't know, it's not really working out for them till now. Nothing special has been done by him, and he is really behind in CS because of the gank as well. So, I mean, we'll have to see how he ends up scaling into the game.
Meanwhile, do you see a gank coming out as on the Skarner? So MF has to flash, the stun lands on both of them, and Zaya ult as well stuns both of them. Direct ult brings us the right time, will he disengage on time, and they do, but alright, Cigarettes just dies as well. So this was a really well played out gank, and Braum as well is relentless at this point, and a very good gank coming out right there from the Skarner with the right use of the Zaya ulti as well as Taric ulti. Just instantly deletes both the AD carry, both the bot lane of SND right now.
I think the Taric ulti was overkill. There was no need for the Taric ult. Apart from that, it was a really beautifully executed combo. All the else, all the skills and everything landing together at the right time. And yeah, that is a very successful gank at bottom lane, which is going to net them the first tower as well. And which they can even rotate to the Infernal after this. So it's going to be a very win-win situation for them.
That one gank, and kudos to Sting to being very consistent in landing his Taric stuns on both the players. And right now this gold lead is going to swing to a 3.5k gold lead right now, just because of the first lane, the bot lane going on as well. So like right now 14k I seem to be in the driver's seat of this game, and kudos to the Skarner for putting off very good gank and was well executed, like you said, on the bot lane.
And the Predator comes into play, the Predator speed makes them makes that bot lane use the flash, and Taric goes for the flash stun, which is really well executed by him as well. A very successful gank all around. I would have liked them to go for the Infernal after that as well, but I don't know, they don't decide to go for it, so I guess that's a decision, they might live to regret later on. But yeah, now because, SND is able to get some vision over there, they had no vision at that time. So again, a bit of faulty decision making on their part.
They choose, or do you see another gang happening in the mid lane? The E does miss out by that, the ulti being sort of used by Scarlet. He seems to be in tower right. The Pirate is right there behind him. Does the Q want to land? It does. and W lands as well, but I think he's gonna run away. The Jax are disengaged. They don't not want to fight this and carefully back off. So yeah, that's a little scary right now. Cho'Gath's the one roaming of all the people right now, and Sin's just like trying to farm up and catch back up in CS. Having said that, though, I really like how 14K ISO played the game so far, and they did not rotate their bot lane to the top lane after getting the tower. So that's like, what do you think of that? First, do you think it would have been better for them to have rotated on the top lane?
Definitely so. I don't think there is any value getting in from their side by keeping their bot lane at bot right now. Either they push this lane out and rush the Infernal. Otherwise, there's no value just by having the Xayah and the Taric stay here. Unless they get the Infernal. I think they're going for a repeat gank once again. Scanner ulti is up, so I think they're going to try for another gank. And this should not ideally work out because SND should never be this far pushed up without the tower behind them.
Yeah, so, they are being careful right now, so I don't think that gank's gonna work out for them. I think that's a little smartly played by both Cigarettes and Jawad just to make sure that they do not overextend the bot lane, considering that they're already behind right now. But the wave is coming, and I think they might be greedy enough to get it. But yeah, like you said, Infernal is the objective for them, and I think 14K is gonna go for the Dragon right now. Oh, the damage onto the Zoe. That's actually hurting the Zoe quite a bit right now. She's quite...
I really think that the Zoe needs to be a lot more careful with how she's using her skill shots. Otherwise, it's going to end up costing her in the team fights. Mind you, this is a Vladimir which is 0-0-1. He's going to be scaling pretty hard into the team fights. And unless, Sting is on point with his ults, it's going to be really difficult to deal with him.
True that, and I just think like Zoe is taking so many empowered Qs from the Vladimir at this point that she's like losing out a lot in health. She needs to make sure that she's not in Q range of the Vladimir when she pokes out, and like the farm is even, but I do think that the Vladimir is going to be probably one of the main win conditions for SND at this point, because the Vladimir is that one champion that when he gets going, he's able to shell out so much damage and sustain, and through long extended team fights, he's one of the best champions you can play with. So we'll have to see how the team fights work out right now. I mean, you do see that finally the bot lane is they're not. They're still going bot lane at this point. Like, they should look to rotate top lane. Like, just as information.
Once what do you think of the tier unsinged? I don't think anybody builds it these days, right?
Yeah, this is a very unique build coming out right there. I think he wants to go for Seraph's Embrace, so he has additional shields.
I mean, I don't think you go that way anyway. Like nowadays, you just need to go full tank. The Atla Max, I think I could see him getting a Roa, which is not even necessary at this point. People just go full tank from Sinch. I don't know about the tier pickup really, considering that he's already behind in the first place.
Yeah, it's very suboptimal at this point because it does not give him any defensive stats, and against a Cho'Gath, it's just he's gonna have a more difficult time, especially.
Mind you, Cho'Gath already has an Abyssal Mask completed, so I mean, there's actually like a huge disparity between the two of them.
Does land from Zoe as well, and Braum is just having to be on defensive duty right now with this Unbreakable, making sure that no one else dies in the process as well. So
lots of miscommunication coming out from both the teams. To be honest with you, I think lots of skill shots could have been used much better from both the teams, and they ended up messing a lot of important skill shots with they shouldn't have. I mean, the Zoe now, she's just gradually taking over, getting that poke in, finally landing a skill shot, which is very important. Otherwise, the ulti from Taric, it had been completely wasted. The exhaust from Taric also had been completely wasted. And yet they managed to come out ahead, which is pretty surprising to see. Let's see how it's going to.
Orion, I think the casters, we are not able to hear the casters' voice on stream. Can you have a look? Did you fix it? Oh, okay, you got shifted to the AFK channel.
AFK.
We'll have to fix that as well. Meanwhile, sorry for the interruption on that, guys. We're back with the stream, and I think kudos to 14K, guys. They've played really well so far. The Zoe was amazing in team fights, Frost. I have to give it to her. Like the way she landed her bubbles and the way she was able to do damage was pretty cool from her side as well. And I think Cho'Gath might be overextending at this point. He does not have any mana. Oh my god, he just like, oh, that's a good blast Kunda. He will have to flash right there. So yeah, slight bit of overextension from the Cho'Gath, but he does survive.
Yeah, I think the Braum played that fight pretty well as he could have. You know, he tried blocking the bubble, he tried blocking the the damage coming out from Zoe. I mean, he played that fight well, he ulted well as well, but he had no value for his side because there's just not enough damage coming out from SND at this point. They have to wait, they have to get some more items, and then they can go into it.
Yeah, at this point, I think that like Team 14K does have a pretty strong lead coming out for them right now. And yeah, if they are able to capitalize it, they should be able to take all the objectives. The bot lane is the only turret that has died so far. I think they need to like try to get the top lane as well, the mid lane objective. So let's see what the next game plan is for 14K, and we also will have to see what SND will do to make sure that they can come back and claw back into this game. And you do see the Singe is pushing top lane quite easily, and he should be able to get a lot of damage onto the tower. Cho'Gath was pretty late to back and go top there.
I don't know, the Tariq has straight away rushed for the Knights. Wow, I don't really agree with it. I would have liked to see a redemption considering how much AoE the fights are going on with.
Oh, that flash right there. I think there comes Skarner. Like, he just like, Skarner ultis is so pivotal in this game. Every time the Skarner ultis are, they are managed to getting 1 or 2 kills. Like, I think Skarner has ulted 3 times and he's gotten 3 kills every time. So kudos for that pick, working out really well for them, and like they need to get a QS at this point. And the Saints getting caught, sorry, the Vladimir getting got out as well, does manage to pull out and run away. And the 5-man kid coming with the Rift Herald, the mid lane goes down for SND, and 14K eyes seem to be very coordinated at this point and doing a really good job. Oh, the E does land onto the Vladimir, but the flash Q auto and Zaya is this goes ham and gets it. Tariq ulti being used. Oh, there's nothing that they can do at this point. SND is just getting destroyed, if I have to say, at this point, and it's just like it's gonna be a storm at this point, guys. Very well played there by SND. My fault being used for some lot of disengage, but not much happens. Everyone comes back alive, and that's gonna be the inner mid tower coming as well. And another Zoe Snipe. My god, 14K RIP is on fire today, landing amazing bubbles and amazing damages and just getting kills after kills after kills.
I think finally he's picked up, and now I'm finally starting to see the value for getting him that champion. Early on I think it wasn't working out for him, but now he started. He's back into his comfort zone. He's landing those important skill shots. Also, very importantly, I don't know why the Braum was waiting that long to ult there. He had his ult up the whole time. Even after the Zaya flashed, he waited, and I don't know. The whole problem is coming out, because the Cho'Gath was able to teleport first, or even able to roam first, while the Singe is just stuck pushing top lane and doing nothing. And now the gap is so long that I don't think I see SND coming back from this.
Yeah, I mean,
from my side, I think props must be given to the Skarner. Every single time his ult has been up, he has made it count, which is a pretty good thing for me.
Yeah, and there's still no QSS being built out at this point. I think it would have been better for the MF or someone to build that QSS, because every time a Skarner ults pop one person, and Zoe, I have to give it to her as well. Like, she's landing some amazing bubbles and as well as long range Qs that are just like literally decimating their opponents.
Even if they go for QSS at this point, they're going to be severely lacking in damage. So I don't think it's going to work out. And I see like good rotations from 14K. They are now gradually shifting their attention to the top side, because that is the only outer tower which is remaining.
Yeah. Kudos to them for playing it so well. I think right now Singe is going to be caught, and the crit onto that by the Zaya just decimates again. And meanwhile, you do see a mid lane coming out of Lao. Zoe does die in the hands of Vladimir and Braum, so they do get that shutdown coming out. So not all was lost. 1-for-1 trade coming out from SND.
I think Zoe was just cocky, playing straight to work without any support from her team. And yeah, the Singe build is hurting him. He cannot tank anyone. He cannot stand in front of anyone. And of course the crit over there helped, but he does not have a single shred of armor in his whole build, so it's not going to work out for him.
Chose to get Swifty boots along with everything, that the amount of CC and armor that damage that they have, and the Singed honestly is becoming a very useless pick right now for SND. They probably should have gone with something more useful in teamfights, because Singe has had absolutely no impact in this game. The Cho'Gath has done really well and contributed to the team efforts, and it just like things seem to be getting out of hand right now. The only win condition or way out I see is there Vladimir, who seems to have his items and who might be able to do damage, but against a composition with 14K ice, which seems to work well as a team. They are playing together really well, and they're able to like get the catches really well, and they should get that. And I think The Baron is the next objective. 20-minute Baron right there. They do not hesitate, Frost. They're right there doing it, and there's absolutely no response from SND at this point. That's going to be a free Baron coming out there for.
Just look at the number of wards coming out for 14k, right? They have the whole forest warded, and the Jax recoiled on 2 of red side's wards. So yeah, it's a perfectly free Baron, perfectly nice call to do. They have the secure 0 uncontested Baron at 20 minutes coming out for 14k. This is a solid team.
Definitely, and well deserved for them as well. A good, understanding of macro right there, knowing the opportunity, knowing that Jackson right now, knowing that the 5 of them are there, the 20-minute Baron, which just makes things easier for them to close it out right now. I'm impressed, Ross. Like 14k is like they're playing quite well in my opinion. Like compared to all the other teams that we've seen in the tournament, like definitely look like one of the stronger teams that we have in the tournament.
It's pretty fun to see because also this is the power of experience. 14k has been as a team, as an organization, been in the scene for a long time as well. So that experience is really shining through. Having the courage to go for the 20-minute battle play, it's not something which you're going to see a lot from the semi-pro teams right now. Like you won't expect it to see from them. So it's pretty good to see. Pretty refreshing to see, to be honest, to have such ballsy plays from a semi-pro team.
Definitely, and I think it's going to be one of the teams that we have to watch out for in this tournament. They're playing quite well, and who's going to face them next? Figure out, okay, we need to make sure that we are prepared against this team because they have come with a game plan, not just a composition, but a good composition as well as a good game plan in playing macro and playing quite well as well. So, like, I'm looking forward to see this team in particular go forward. But unless SND tries to do something and gets the comeback going, and right now they seem to farm right now, and Zoe's just landing her EQs so far from long distance, and
it's just too far behind at this point, to come. Like unless they overdive or something, I don't see 14k throwing this game. It's really hard. Jax just get caught by the sleepy bubble. He might get eaten at this point.
Dead. Oh, he survives by the skin of his teeth. I think Shogat. Oh, the Q from RIP right there. Just when he thought he was going to be safe, there he goes. And Mash is just like going ham as an AD right there and gets another kill for the Zoe right there. Vladimir just cannot do anything at this point. He's trying his best. He does get the Zaya as well. His ulti coming onto the MF. She tries to ghost and run out, but that's not going to happen. Tactical being used for disengage right there. And this team fight is just going in favor of 14k, but they might have bitten a little more than they can chew, and they try to run away. And the Singe now trying to catch them off, but okay, he just gets queued again and then sleeping again. And then Cho'Gath is going to die right now. The good silence coming out from the Cho'Gath, and Vladimir cannot do much. This is going to mean an inhibitor coming out right there for 14k. I think this game is slowly just clawing, and it's difficult for SND to do anything about it right now.
I think the primary responsibility is on Singe. He's late to every fight, and the build is pretty strange from from him for this game. And yeah, he has not been able to impact this game whatsoever.
Yeah, Jax coming out to stunt that. Cho'Gath is taking a lot of damage. I think 14 guys should look to disengage right now. Health. They're not that strong that they can win a fight with that health as well, and they smartly do choose to go back up. The top lane now is slowly pushing in favor of them. The bot lane, however, is pushing against them. Probably gonna look to farm out the Zays and get to the side lane turret, but the mid lane has been taken. You gotta appreciate Mash as well. He ults in like an ADC and gets without any issues at all. Meanwhile, Jax had caught out where that's 40% of his damage in 1Q, and that's just gonna get different. He has MR Frost to boot. A guy having MR should get chunked for 40% of his health.
And that's just Zoe being Zoe, right? I mean, she has gone for the Lucian rush, so it's not like she's not even hurting like she should at this point because she hasn't built a proper AP item yet, She hasn't gone for the Ludens yet. She is making towards it. So yeah, she's going to be hurting all the more as the game goes on.
Yeah, the next dragon coming as well is going to be the Cloud Dragon for them, and they already have two Infernos which are very good at a lot of damage. That percentage damage coming out for both AP and AD is really helping them out as well. And right now, I don't think SND need to look to contest this. They need to look to try to total this game as much as they can because they're not going to win any team fights coming out at this point. And they are hovering around the dragon. I'm not sure they want to take it. Meanwhile, 14k Mash is just waiting to see if they are going to engage. And if they do, they're going to get the people. But smartly enough, SND does choose to back out from that fight. And they're going to go back. And this probably means the dragon coming out at the 14k Mash. They're still waiting. I'm not sure for what exactly. But...
I think they are going to restart their VPN so that they're able to reconnect. That will be restart maybe. Not really sure.
That makes sense. I was wondering why they were just standing right there wondering what happened, but quite well, good performance. I think overall 14k Eyes as a team have played really well. each member of their team has done their own job in getting picks and getting damage and catching the right people. And barring one or two overextensions from the Zoe, I think like they've played really well. And like Vladimir on the side of SND is one person I have to give kudos to. He is trying to do what he can, and this MF is not able to get the right ultis at this point. And the singed build with the tier, and now he just completed his Rylai's. He does not have MR, nor does he have armor. And against a comp that's so ahead right now, he's just gonna die. The moment Singed goes into any of these members and he gets caught out with one CC, he's just gonna get melted at this point, and that's not gonna help them at all.
Yep, and it's not really worked out for them. They did decide that they did pick the corp with certain things in mind, but they were unable to execute on it. And yeah, 14K, much more solid comp, much more a cohesive comp coming in with a definite plan and executing on it, which is really nice to see from them.
Most definitely, and it does look like the players will be reconnecting pretty soon, so the game should.
I think they have. They're going to be resuming anytime. They are asking each other whether it should resume.
Alright, Frost, what do they need to do to end this game right now?
They just need to, I think, because they have already taken the Baron, they can just, go for any of the towers and just dive. All they need to do is just dive. They have a Taric ult on top. It's not like they can be stopped in the dive as well. So yeah, they just need to slowly push away the turrets and, end this game. Misfortune might die here. Yeah. Tons of damage coming out. I don't know why she was that pushed up in the first place.
Yeah, meanwhile, you do see the Cho'Gath coming out there, and the bot lane inner turret is gonna go down for them. Minions are not there, but the Taric is happy to tank this so far. He doesn't even take any damage from the turret.
On the side though, so which is a pretty good thing for SND. The Jax and the Vlad went up on Zoe and killed her.
Yeah, they should be going in. Half health scarred. Vladimir does get ulted, but he does not die, and he just uses his W at the right time. He's gonna disengage off right now. Do not have so much damage right now. Just a double kick from Xayah, right? They just are so behind right now that SND cannot do much to get back into this game, and that's just going to be the bot lane inner tower going down for them. And Sage, oh my god, what are you doing, Sage?
Okay, I don't know what that was.
That was something we call inting, my friend. Like, that's what that was.
That's nothing else you can say about that.
I walked in first in hopes of, I'm not sure what, his entire team was backed off, and that's going to be
SND through the game over there. There was no reason for them to take that side. Taric ulti was up, Xayah ulti was up.
That's a very nice flash W to cancel the MF ult, and the Q that lands on this Cho'Gath actually played that quite smartly. And kudos to like 14K again. They're just showing time and time again that this is a team that you need to watch out for in the semi-pro tournament, because they are coming here with a lot of fire in their belly right now.
No need for SND to engage there. It was a 4v4, I agree, but they did not have the HP or the cooldowns. They had used the Vlad ult, they used everything back then to kill the Zoe. I don't know why they take that fight. They get punished for it as they should. And now I think this is curtains down for them at this point.
Yeah, the MF does have 2 items right now, but I do not think they have enough damage to kill anyone.
She doesn't. That's a very weird build which she's gone as well. And there are like 2-3 solid tags from 14K side at this point. So it's not like they're going to hurt from that, unless she gets to ult her a complete channel on them.
Yeah, I think 14K is going to go back and try to get the Baron that's up in 25 seconds for them right now. 26. Yeah, if they get the Baron, that's probably just going to be the end. They'll probably look to get to the top side, finish the last inhibitor, and then just look to end it out at this point. You see the Baron spawning in 15 seconds, and 14K Gaming, the Skarners look be ready for the final team fight before the start, and good warding coming off from the riverside. There are some wards for the blue team on their own jungle, but the Baron is completely empty for them, and oh lord, Rom just gets caught out right there. Does not see that the Zoe comes there, and there's just if Dragon Baron was ever gonna get contested, it's less a chance that it will now.
I don't know why they're not respecting the Xayah. She has a red buff. She has 3.5 items. You can't just casually walk past her and expect to live. I don't know what that is all about. Yeah, I've seen this. The same thing with the scene. The same thing with the Braum. They're just not respecting the Xayah damage.
True that, and it's just like really well played there from 14K, and they're just so ahead right now. That thing where SND have just simply been a little out-rotated at this point. They're trying to get to the Sins. I wouldn't worry about the Sins, my friend. I would just like, oh my god, the damage coming out right there from the Xayah, simply 1v1s the Sins. with the red buff and made it look so damn easy. And that's just going to be the Baron coming out right there. They're waiting for the Cho'Gath eat, I'm guessing, and that's it. And that's
Zero armor still in his build, mind you. He still does not have a single shred of armor.
He barely tries to get some MR going from his side. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he cannot tank anybody. Even with that amount of MR, he can't even tank the Zoe. So, I mean, he's almost next to useless at this point, and you know, it's just really bad. The whole game has gone really bad for him.
Yeah, this probably will be a learning experience from SND. They figured out what they went wrong, and they can go back and look at this game and see what they could have done to improve this game, and you know, maybe do things differently next time.
Yeah, maybe not like first pick Singh next time, because it's not something which has given them any sort of value in this game whatsoever.
Oh my god, did you see the Vladimir getting insta 50 to 0 right there, and Skarner coming out as well? That is, it's yeah. That's just not much can be said about the end of this game right now. Flash is well coming out right there, and then this 14k match is being aggressive at this point, and I think that will be the end of this game. Kudos to 14k Ice for playing this game very well from a macro standpoint and warding really well as well. And the Cho'Gath just eats the Braum like it's nothing, and under tower deaths coming out.
Look at that Zaya damage. My god, look at that Zaya damage. She's just farming kills at this point. Really well played from 14k.
And a very dominating game coming out from 14, deservingly so. They win the game, right? Team effort coming out right there from them, and kudos to them first. Like, I think this is one of the teams that have performed exceptionally well, and will be one of those teams that we will have to look out for in the future games of this tournament. Whoever's facing 14k Ice need to have some sort of a game plan against their team, because they definitely have not just the compositions but the macro as well to carry out these as well. What do you think?
14k as a family seems to be doing really well. 14k Fire has also qualified for round 3 in the upper half of the bracket, and with this victory, Ice is also in round 3. So yeah, it's really good to see both of them progressing throughout the tournament, and yeah, we will be getting some much closer matches as the tournament progresses. And yeah, anybody who's playing these guys needs to look out, because the draft, the rotations, all of it was really good from them.
Yep, and looking at the damage charts, you do see that most of the damage has come out from the Zayas as well as expected. And so yeah, that does it from our side, guys. It was a very entertaining game. 14k Ice came out and showed the rest of the tournament, the teams in the tournament, that they are a force to be reckoned with. And we will have games for you coming out this Friday. We will start with our round of 16 bracket on the LIC tournament. All of the games will hopefully get streamed from quarterfinal onwards. And for tonight, that's it from us, guys. See you.
See you guys.